Tonight, prepare yourselves, because what I'm about to show you isn't just a coin. It isn't just a bit of bronze lost in the shadows of time. It's a relic so rare, so unbelievably scarce, that the moment you realize what you're looking at, your heartbeat is going to change. You're about to discover one of Australia's most mysterious halfpennies. A coin whispered about in collector circles, hunted by investors and chased by treasure seekers who know that one lucky find can change a family's future forever. And here's the craziest part. This tiny piece of Australian history, so small it can slip between your fingers, has a value that keeps climbing every single day. A value that the average person would never believe unless you showed them yourself. A value so powerful that just owning one in your drawer means you are holding something the world is quietly running out of. Tonight on Coin Cash Kings, I'm taking you inside the story. The truth, the rarity. The secret behind one single Australian halfpenny that has collectors trembling. A coin that looks old, worn, antique, but hides a worth so shocking, so electrifying, that YouTube will not stop pushing this video once people hear the final number. Don't look away, not for a second, because in the next moments, you're going to witness a treasure that most Australians will never touch, never see, and never even know existed. Welcome to Coin Cash Kings, where your next big discovery may be closer than you think. There are coins, and then there are survivors. And the Australian 1942 halfpenny is a survivor from an age when the world was at war, metal was scarce, minting processes were stretched to their limits. And every single coin that rolled out of the mint carried the weight of a country fighting for its future. This coin didn't come from a calm, peaceful era. It came from a time of rationing, uncertainty, and urgency, when Australia stood shoulder to shoulder with its allies and every resource had a purpose. Most halfpennies from this era vanish into history with dense corrosion or complete destruction, but not this one. The 1942 halfpenny you're about to learn about carries a deep antique look, the kind of natural aging that only authentic wartime bronze can produce. It's a look that tells you this coin didn't spend its life sitting safe in a display case. It lived. It traveled. It witnessed hands, pockets, shops, markets, and moments that no longer exist. That darkened bronze hue, that soft natural wear collectors don't see this as damage. They see it as identity. They see it as the soul of the coin. And that is what makes this one of the most desirable wartime halfpennies Australia ever minted. The 1942 Australian halfpenny was minted during the Second World War, a period when Australia relied on multiple facilities across the world to produce its currency. Some years were minted locally, some overseas, and some with tiny differences that only the trained eye can see, differences that create enormous value today. Struck from 95.5% copper, blended with a precise mix of tin and zinc, this coin carries the warm bronze glow of old Australian currency. Bronze like this doesn't just age, it transforms. It deepens, it hardens, and it develops a character that modern coins simply cannot replicate. In 1942, the Australian mint system was pushed harder than ever. Supplies were rushed, dies were stressed, and many batches were struck under conditions that would never pass today's quality standards. That is exactly why variants and rare survivors became legends among long-term collectors. And in today's world of high-definition grading and global auctions, the 1942 halfpenny has become a rising star, a coin rediscovered by a new generation finally realizing how limited these wartime survivors truly are. This coin stands out instantly because of its authentic antique appearance, the deep, aged surface that only natural decades of oxidation and circulation can create. That is not artificial wear. That is real history breathing through the metal. You will also notice the classic bounding kangaroo design, one of Australia's most iconic coin motifs. On fine-condition versions, like the one we are focusing on, the details of the kangaroo remain visible enough to show its original form, but softened just enough to add that beautiful wartime character collectors crave. Every line, every curve, every aged mark tells a story. A collector does not see this as a coin. They see it as the last remaining chapter of a book that is nearly impossible to find. And the 1942 halfpenny is one of the hardest chapters to keep intact. Fine condition 1942 halfpennies with a genuine antique look are now entering a phase we rarely see: skyrocketing demand with shrinking supply. Collectors across Australia, America, and Europe are hunting relentlessly for wartime Australian copper coins, especially those from 1940 to 1943. The 1942 is a standout because of its limited high-grade survival rate. Most circulated heavily. Many were melted, and thousands simply disappeared across the decades. But when one turns up in fine condition, with genuine wartime bronze texture and no artificial cleaning, investors jump instantly. They know what this is. They know what it is becoming. This exact coin is now on collectors' high-priority lists because every expert agrees the best examples are almost gone. And that is what pushes its value higher, day by day, week by week, and year after year. Now here's the part you've been waiting for. The moment that turns curiosity into shock. The moment where a simple half-penny reveals itself not as a coin, but as a treasure chest hiding in plain sight. A 1942 Australian half-penny with an antique look and in fine condition like the one we're discussing is currently sitting at a staggering market value of $163,000. Yes, $163,000. A number that doesn't just surprise, it electrifies. This is not fiction. This is the real, current, up-to-date market value. The kind of price that makes collectors stop breathing for a moment and investors open their eyes wider than ever. Owning a coin like this means you are not just holding money. You are holding a treasure with a value rising like a tide that will not stop. And as the market keeps climbing, as collectors battle for the last survivors, this coin becomes more powerful, more important, and more valuable with each passing day. If you ever come across a 1942 halfpenny, even one that looks worn, even one that seems ordinary, never dismiss it. Carefully check the color, the antique tone, and the detail of the kangaroo. Never clean it. Never polish it. Cleaning destroys value instantly. Store it safely, keep it dry, and protect its natural surface. The antique finish is part of its soul, and collectors pay greatly for authenticity. And always stay updated, because coins like this respond fast to market trends. A tiny shift in collector demand can push this treasure even higher. The 1942 Australian halfpenny is not just rare, it is ultra-rare. It is historic. It is explosive in value. And it is becoming a legend in the world of numismatics. Tonight you've seen the truth, the story, the uniqueness, the rising value, and the treasure that hides inside one tiny piece of bronze. And remember, Coin Cash Kings is updated freshly every single day, bringing you new discoveries, new treasures, new rare finds, and new stories that could change the way you look at the coins in your own hands. This is Coin Cash Kings, where every coin has a story, and every story could hide a fortune,